I made good relationships with people, and I was able to make changes and have my voice heard.
Okay. Did you expect that when you went to synod?
Not really. When I first went to a synod, I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. I just assumed that everything was going to be done for me, but turns out that we had a really big say in what happened, and we were independent in what we did.
They let our voices be heard, and we were able to go up there and do stuff that other youth might not be able to do. And talking to people, a lot of people said that we changed their view and like we impacted them. So.
Actually, I did. I was expecting not to make any friends. I don't know why, but I didn't think that I would click well with anyone, and I just was kind of going into it. So I didn't really expect much from it.
And then did that change once you got there?
Yes. Not at first, it didn't, but after getting to know everyone and hanging out with people and just spending time with everyone, then yes, it did.
And then do you think your group had an impact with General Synod?
Yes, I do believe that the Michigan youth as a whole definitely had an impact, especially on Resolution 8. Yeah.
Why do you think it had an impact?
Because we were able to do things that hadn't really been done before, like youth go on the floor and be with our delegates while they were speaking.
Okay, Synod in general is like a meeting of all the churches throughout the country, and they talk about important things that the church wants to agree or disagree on. And Synod for me was a fun time where I got to meet a lot of new people and make new friends through church.
Okay, it's a meeting where delegates from UCC churches all across the country come together and vote on resolutions. Most of them are about official positions that the church will take on different issues. Yes, Resolution 8 was very important to us because several LGBTQ plus members were in our group of youth, and Resolution 8 dealt with LGBTQ plus issues. And so we were all of the youth were very fired up about that.
Why?
Because many of our friends that we had just made, and many of the different youth group members were LGBTQ themselves, and we all thought that we believed in LGBTQ rights and wanted to make some sort of difference.
Do you think you made a difference?
For sure, yeah. Lots of people came up to us and told us that they had changed their minds on Resolution 8 to our point of view. And I think we really made an impact on the whole church. Everybody, we were kind of the star of the show.
I made a lot of new friends and strengthened my relationships with old ones. Resolution 8 was a resolution on whether or not General Synod should allow anti-LGBT plus churches to display in the exhibit hall.
How are you?
Yeah?
Yeah.
How have you been since General Synod?
Different. Everything feels different.
Why?
Before Synod, I didn't have very many relationships, good relationships with people. I didn't even bother to make relationships with people. And then after Synod, everything felt different because I had more of more of a family and more people to come to like go to and talk to, and I felt like more secure than I ever had. Before I went, that I knew of the Resolution 8 and I wanted to speak on it because I am part of the LGBTQ community and I have friends who are part of it. So I wanted to speak on it, and then after meeting everybody and hearing like that I wasn't so different and like all of our stories connected in like some way, like I like knew I needed to speak on it. Like I had no choice.
So you had to not only speak up for yourself, but speak up for others.
The people that like I grew to love, yeah. I was happy to be at General Synod. It was just like the right time. It was the right time to be there. I wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah, I definitely do. We, especially at the last synod, the one that we went to this summer, we made a very big impact. And I think we have been able to start the motions of changing things. And I think in the future, youth will have more of an option and more of availability to be able to keep changing things and have more of an impact on our church. We changed their minds about how they felt on Resolution 8. And we also opened up a lot of people's minds, and we started a conversation that allowed movements to happen and for people to think about what change they want in our church. There was a very like almost bittersweet tone to it, because we as a youth at Synod had been able to attempt to work towards this change and made a big impact, but it hurts a bit because of the fact that we need to make that change. So coming away from General Synod, I felt like we had done something important, but it also hurt that, you know, we didn't really achieve the goal that we had wanted. What's next is that we move forward with trying to keep pushing for change. We talk with the board of directors and also the Michigan Conference to try and get their support in making sure that a behavioral covenant comes out of Resolution 8. And also to just keep pushing and starting the conversation of making sure that we can try and get churches to become open and affirming.
Changing things in Michigan?
I think we're definitely changing things in Michigan, just because like we're the Michigan youth and we were talking about things at Synod, so it's now affecting Michigan because their youth are talking about events and changes they want to see.
Like on what resolutions we thought things could be changed and what we wanted to see from the National Church. Our voice was heard because we spoke on the floor, and I think people listened to us. We had people come up to us and say that like we changed their vote, so that showed that they heard us.
Did it feel good?
The Michigan youth grew really close together, and I mean, we're here making this video. Like, we obviously love to spend time with each other, and we have great relationships. Well, my local church is trying to push, like, becoming an ONA church, and we're voting, I think, sometime in the next month. So just really trying to get people to vote yes to becoming one. And like us as youth are trying to get it even more. And like our parents are really the ones pushing it, so that's good.
Do you have a voice in your local church though?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
They listen to us, I think.
Awesome. Does that feel good to have your local church listen to you?
Yeah, because it feels like they support us and they back up like what we do when we come to these wider events.
I went in with a lot of people from my church, so I was thinking like I'll just hang out with them, but then like I found so many new friends from like other churches and other places, not only in Michigan, also in other states, which was really cool because I got to connect with youth from all over the country. I think that we changed, even if we didn't like completely change people's mind, like we opened up the conversation and like made people think about like the things that we were talking about. So I thought that was really cool.
You listen to.
Because a lot of times in our society, like youth are kind of just like pushed down, but like that, there we had a place for our voices to be heard. So.
And do you think your voices continue to be heard at your local church?
Yes, our local church like makes sure like youth, even if they can't like vote on things, like they still are heard and stuff. We're gonna continue to try and get our voices heard, like continue to get them heard and push our point and hope for the change that we want to see.
We all became friends, and we all like text each other a lot, and we've been waiting to get back together since the time that we left. When the adults all go up and talk with our youth representatives, that they saw how much we really cared about what we were talking about, and that it wasn't just certain people, it was the youth too. I would like to see some sort of change in the way the exhibit hall works and the way that the youth are put into the event. Because I didn't really feel, sure we had a voice, but it wasn't as big of a voice as I think that we should have. Because we are part of the church and will be the church in the future. I think we need more of a voice. I want to see a change in the way the exhibit hall works. I want to see a change in how much voice the youth have. We had some voice because we had 2 representatives, but I think because we're part of the church and will be the church in the future, that we deserve more of a voice than 2 people speaking as representatives, and we should have more than the youth having 3 events that we can talk about where we vote on them. We need to be able to talk about all the events. I want to see the behavioral covenant come together and not be exclusive, like take people out of the exhibit hall, but I want it to be a set of rules that show people how to act in the exhibit hall and that they have to follow the national level's rules instead of the local church's rules. I saw people in the exhibit hall who didn't fit the mission of the United Church of Christ, and it didn't really feel like they accepted everyone.
One more time.
Join us at the National Youth Event at Purdue University in 2020.